All right, y'all. We are live on this beautiful Thursday morning. May the Lord bless you all in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. I do pray you and your family are super blessed. Check, check. Check. We need a mic check. Mic check. Let's check the mic. Mic looks good. I think we're good to go, baby. Bitcoin, 110,000 USDT, baby. Wow. Right from the dang long setup given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. And now here we are, guys. We came through our white box of warning. The white box of warning. And we are currently coming to the target of the trade. Would you take a look at this? Target hit, baby. The original target of the trade was none other than 110,250 up to 110,869. We are currently finding a little bit of resistance at the daily order block, going back to our time here in the beginning of June. And we are well on our way to a massive move, as the title of the video says. Now is the time for Bitcoin. 90% huge. Keywords YouTube. Live Bitcoin trade, $15,000 in profit, as you can see right here. We're up $15,000 in profit, man. And this doesn't even include the money that we made from the first long trade given in the Casper Crew 2 weeks ago from $100,000. Setup given, trade taken. All right, this is nuts, man. This is actually pretty good, I have to say. These two trades, not the worst. Not the worst. All right. Now, God bless everybody. We got to give a major shout out to everybody in the house right now before we get into this juicy technical analysis. Shout out to Lightbot. He says, next stop, 136K Jason. Shout out to Getchy. Jason, what do you think of the weekly chart and many altcoins? I think they pump hard. So do I, man. I really think we see altcoins pump hard. Could I be wrong? Could I be wearing the bull glasses? I might be wearing the bull glasses. All right. In fact, let me put them on. Sorry. Sometimes they're hard to keep on when we have bearish divergences locally. But yeah, might I be wearing the bull glasses? I think we can all objectively say that yes, Jason is wearing bull glasses right now, but those weekly and monthly time frames on these altcoins that are very low. Whoa! I mean, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Man, it gets me feeling so dang bullish. Makes me want to take another sip of coffee from my Market Cipher mug, 23-ounce turkey pencil neck. Big warning, guys. If you have the old Market Cipher mugs, feel free to put them through the dishwasher. If you have the new Market Cipher mugs, the turkey comes off hand wash only. All right, hand wash only. The caffeine hits a little bit different when Bitcoin's at $110,000. All right, now is the time for Bitcoin. We got a bull flag. RTS 382 never takes the bear glasses off. The bull glasses, I mean, Freudian slip. Jay, what are you doing, man? Shout out to Lars, 15. Bear dip on every RSI from 15 to 4 hours. Jason, pullback coming to retest the breakout. We're going to talk about it, man. Shout out to Kid Turbo. Shout out to Backend Admin. Can human go on sun at night during the day? It's very hot. Yes, if it's nighttime during the day, you can absolutely walk on the sun. It's a little known fact, but all scientists agree that if it's nighttime during the day, you can actually walk on the sun. Shout out to Getchy. Shout out to JB. Shout out to Walter Red and Investment Time. Shout out to Mitsos Seriaki, if I got that right. Shout out to Sergio Angel, or Sergio Angel. I am Casper, we are all Casper. Man, is that not the truth or what, bro? Shout out to JR Block. Shout out to JR Block. He says, check the mic again. Mic check, mic check. Mic's looking good. All right, we're good to go, baby. We are up right now. $15,000 in profit. That is nuts, honestly. That is crazy. Shout out to Pegless. Shout out to Patrick. Shout out to Alexander in the house and Lucky Jim Bob 111. Shout out to Felipe Collin. He says the sound is good. Shout out to Daniel Figueredo, what is going on? Dan Figueredo, what is going on, bro? God bless you, my man. Dan Figueredo, what is going on? Dan Figueredo, Dan Figueredo, Dan Figueredo. I actually know a Dan Figueredo in real life. All right? Are you that same Dan Figueredo from real life, man? If you are, that's wild. Shout out to Drum Hop. He says, woohoo! All right. Shout out to Sam. Shout out to Saharuk Barami. Thanks for the best show. Regards from Sweden. Well, God bless you, man. From the good old-fashioned United States of America and Donald J. Trump himself. And I speak on his behalf. And he also speaks on my behalf quite often.
Make sure to like and subscribe to Jason Casper. He's the best YouTube trader in the world. He's getting huge. Shout out to the Casper crew.
And of course, you know, we got to give a major shout out to the sponsors of the channel. First of all, guys, look, if you're not trading on WEEX, what are you doing with your life? Low fees, 70% discount if you hold their token. Plus, good old BLOFIN. BLOFIN also, if you use my link, has very good fees. VIP 4-level fees if you sign up using my link, plus 20% cash back on everything you deposit in futures. That's actually pretty crazy. Deposit $1,000, get 200 back. That's nuts, man. Plus, BLOFIN officially has just launched coin margin trading. Coin margin trading. They are the first exchange ever in the world to have coin margin trading, where you can trade the inverse perpetual contract to earn Bitcoin instead of USDT. Yeah, check it out.
Well, folks, BLOFIN has become the first exchange in the world to offer coin margin trading. Others have tried and failed. It's going to be huge. Big shout out to BLOFIN for keeping America great. And folks, make sure to click Jason Casper's link in the description of this video.
You heard him, guys. Make sure to use Jason Casper's link. Shout out to Trump for shilling the old Jason Casper affiliate links. Also, guys, check out ANTARCTIC Decentralized Exchange. I'm currently long on ANTARCTIC, but I'm not logged in. Long from 85 from the setup given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Long from 85K, man. We are long from the Casper Crew from right here, this key zone. ANTARCTIC is a decentralized exchange made by traders for traders. If you're trading on the exchange, you own the exchange, you are the market maker, you benefit when others get liquidated and when others pay fees. We're all in this together. Whoops, that came out kind of wrong. We're all in this together. It doesn't necessarily mean a good thing these days, but if you're a trader trying to trade and you don't want market makers stop hunting you and you don't want exchanges holding your assets and all of a sudden, whoops, we got hacked, or whoops, your account is frozen, ANTARCTIC is the way to go because you're holding all your own assets in your own hot or cold wallet. Everything's done via smart contract. It's great. Check it out. Oh my goodness. So wonderful. So dang wonderful. All right. Okay, so here we go. We are coming to resistance just like yesterday. We were coming to resistance. All right, remember yesterday morning we were at the white box of warning. Today we're at the target hit. We are holding above some very key areas of resistance, and I do have to say that although, excuse me, although we could very easily see a drop, you know, we're heading into a weekend, I do still feel it's most probable that we actually see the Bitcoin price hit new all-time highs. Why do I say that? Because we have flipped the majority of the major resistance into support, okay? We're going to take a look at ETH. We're going to take a look at XRP. We're going to take a look at Cardano, all right? Chat, is that real about Trump? Of course it's real. Of course it's real. Anytime, here's a little-known secret, okay? Pay attention. Anytime you see a political leader say something on a screen, it's always real. Always. Always. Okay? Whenever you see a political leader say something and you're seeing it on a screen, it's always real. Always. There's no exceptions. Okay? This is a little-known scientific fact, but all scientists agree that all videos of political leaders are always real. Okay? Now, what were we talking about before? Yeah, we're going to look at the chart. How's the chart looking now? Woof! Chart's looking strong, baby. Now, we take a look at the chart, and let's just take a quick look here. This is the super secret Jason Casper chart that I only share with my VIPs. But the last thing I said yesterday in the community, when we were right around here and people were asking me, Jason, have you taken a short? I said no. I think we're going to see 110,250 to 110,900. I think we're going to come up to our next area of resistance right here. Why did I say this? In the Casper Crew VIP Discord. In fact, let's just, because I don't want you guys to think I'm like, you know, making stuff up about what I say in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. But, let's see here. Yeah, right here. Let's check it out. In the Casper Crew VIP. I had said, when people ask, like, what do you think of the charts? I said, well, look, I think that the 24-minute and the 12-minute still look like we have higher. This was yesterday about 3 p.m. Looking for 110,250 to 110,900. That 24-minute money flow is my filter for when to expect the dump. And at the time, okay, at the time, this 24-minute money flow, as you can see, was continuing to get thicker. The 24-minute money flow is my filter for when to start to expect a little bit of downside on good old Market Cipher B. Good old Market Cipher B. Man, some convenient product placement here. It's like Coca-Cola and Pepsi in the 1980s. Wow, just happened to take a drink of coffee, but it just so happens to have Market Cipher. Oh, man, that coffee's strong today. Now, we come back to the chart. What do we see here? What do we see? What do we see? Well, look at this. As the price does make that next high to our target, we're finally starting to see that thick 24-minute money flow get lower as we go for that next high. And actually, we did get a pretty intense rejection from that daily level. And when I say intense rejection, I mean locally, if you're scalping this, right? We've already got a 0.6% move to the downside, which, again, if you're scalping, is nothing to scoff at. People always laugh at this, but you guys are hodlers, right? People who bought Bitcoin at like 40K, 0.5% move. Look, guys, if you're a scalper, if you're a day trader, a 0.6% move, I mean, you could potentially be making a person's like paycheck, an average person's paycheck on a 0.6% move, right? If you're trading with enough capital. And some of you guys out there trading with so much capital, you make a dang year salary in a 0.6% move, right? You got a couple $1 million on the trade. You could be making some good money, right? Well, let's discuss what's going to happen. We're going to do some top-down analysis here to ask ourselves, well, is the top in? Like, are we expecting a dump from here? We're going to start on the weekly, and I'm going to go to a blank chart because this is where things really start to get important. I've got some unsaved changes. This is really where things start to get important. As we are heading into the summer, historically, July is a very bearish month. Now, we're going to start on the weekly. Why do I want to start on the weekly? Because right now, what I have here is the most simplified way to look at the Bitcoin chart. We have the big range ever since Donald J. Trump has won the American election, and we have ranged here from November 2024 all the way till our present day. The blue lines are the fair value zones. This is where the market participants have determined what is fair value for Bitcoin. So for the past 8 months or so or more, I can't do math, you know, that's why I became a YouTuber. This has been the zone for a fair value. Anything above that zone is considered overvalued, and anything below that zone is considered undervalued. Okay? Now that we have come down below the fair value zone, we got to move back inside the fair value zone. And this is why you need to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because if you were watching, we basically gave the free trade setup of once you reclaim this level, we're expecting 108K, right? We have come to 108K where Bitcoin historically has been considered overvalued, and we got a consolidation. And now you can see we have two things here. One, we are reclaiming the value area high of the range, meaning the market has tested, is this overpriced Bitcoin? Is it? And do we want to see it back down at the bottom of the fair value zone? Or is this actually fair price Bitcoin? And we're going to see what happens if we try to push it down. But look now, we're coming back into that area again after a test. That's why they call it a back test or a retest. To say, yeah, know what? The market does actually want to trade Bitcoin at these higher prices. Not only that, look at last week's candle. It's a bullish engulfing candle. It has completely engulfed the body of the June 16th week candle to the downside and closed above the value area high. And then so far this week, we have a wick on this weekly candle. The price tried to come back down into the fair value zone, got a bounce right from the trade setup given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. What do you know? And then we are currently about to, in a few days, we don't know for certain yet, close that candle above the fair value zone. In my mind, that is a successful breakout, back test, or retest, whatever, and then continuation pattern. We weren't even able to come down to the support at the high volume node of the range. We front ran it. The bounce we actually got was from the Fibonacci local golden pocket. You can see right here we dipped into that 618 fib and now are getting a bounce from that. So in my mind, this does look bullish. Then we turn on Market Cipher B. In the same 3 days when we confirm this weekly candle, we will also confirm a big, beautiful green dot. All right? A big, beautiful green dot on the weekly Market Cipher B. Why is this so important? Well, it's important because when we printed this red dot, we were concerned that the last time we actually confirmed this signal, the top was in. But we had some criteria. We said, okay, this is very concerning. What do we need to see in order to feel bullish again? The one thing that we were talking about is Market Cipher B playing the game just kidding. All right, just kidding. Like every time I asked out a girl in my life, she thought about it for a second. She said, I asked, will you go out with me? She's like, yeah. And then she's real quick, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. I could never do that, Jason. I could never put myself through such social turmoil by dating an idiot like you. This is exactly what happened with Market Cipher B, right? We got the red dot, just kidding. Now, why did we get the just kidding here? It's because what happened was we printed the continuation signal on the daily. It was this green dot on the daily, the oversold, that we were really looking for to say, this is going to give us now some bullish hope. We saw our long trade, we saw our divergences, we gave the setup, we took it. I told everyone I took it. All right, I know, I understand. Like, that's the thing. Like, I was feeling bearish here. But at least, well, not at least. Here's the thing. You have to be a reactionary trader. When we were coming down here, yes, I was bearish. Things did look bearish. But when I saw data come in, that made me switch to wanting to long. I took the long. I told everyone I'm long. And now we are back up to these highs. So we saw what we wanted to see in order to get bullish again. And so in 3 days, when this confirms, not only will we confirm the green dot, which points to more upside, but we will also confirm the candle above the key area of resistance. So that's what's so key. There's two things here. And if we're looking at this as a larger structure, we can see that we have a really nice bottom right here. Bullish divergence, right? When you see a bullish divergence, that marks the reversal, the bottom. This is why we were so happy to see that down here. This is why we took the long trade in the Casper Crew from the mid 80s, because we recognized this is very bullish and we're looking for the long trade. And then after you get that bullish divergence, right? If anyone doesn't know what a bullish divergence is, it's where the price gets lower into a very key support, but the momentum waves are getting higher. All right, looking like a set of uneven butt cheeks, right? The price is getting higher, price is getting lower, but the butt cheeks are getting higher over time. A thick, juicy cheek on the left, just like this fine young lady here. And then on the right, a very skinny butt cheek, like this fine young lady right here. All right, working at the diner, skinny, smoking cigarettes. That nicotine really is an appetite suppressant. Yeah, you know, she kind of talks like this with a raspy voice and a Brooklyn accent. Hey, Dolores, get over here, because Jason Casper needs another cup of coffee. All right? We got the skinny butt cheek on the right over here. That's called a bullish divergence. Then when the price gets a big move to the upside and it gets a retracement, that next momentum wave under the zero line gives us our big move. Okay, so I do have to say that these higher time frames do still support a bullish narrative. Okay, now you might say, Jason, you're just twisting the data to fit your narrative. Well, hey, just learn from the mainstream media. What can I say? But no, in all seriousness, I really think things do look good for more upside. What else do we see here that looks juicy? It's the fact that if we take the trend line, we are attempting to break out of this very clear trend line. And in addition to this, if we take the local range volume pull, we are also breaking out of the value area high of the local range, and we are breaking out of the Fibonacci golden pocket 786 zone. So again, this right here, if we're going to be looking at it on the high term time frames, which we are right now, this trend line and this box, if broken, we are going to get rocket shipped up to new all-time highs. In my opinion, $115,000 to $117,000. Now this box, again, this is the 618 Fibonacci, right? That girl 618 from high school. We tried to ask her out on a date, but she rejected us. She gave us the hand, she gave us the face. She said, Jason, you know, I do like you, but not like that. And then, of course, we have the 786 Fibonacci above that. 618's older sister. We tried to ask her out on a date to make 618 jealous, and she just looked us in the face and said, no, Jason, I will not. I will not ever date you, Jason, no. All right? And when we saw this, we were a little bit unhinged, nervous. But right now, it really looks like potentially we will be able to go on a double date with both sisters, 618 and 786. Especially if we are holding above that box. I mean, that's them right there, right? So we are finding a little bit of consolidation. The higher time frames do still look more upside. Let's go to the 4 hour. All right, let's start to do some top-down analysis. How does the 4 hour look? Now, the 4 hour is showing what could be interpreted as a bearish divergence, okay? Remember we were talking about our girl at the club? You know, she's out there drinking hand, having a party. And she asked herself, you know, am I, well, it doesn't matter what she asked herself, but we saw that bull div. Well, as we're coming up to this box, we actually are seeing the momentum getting lower. Like, that girl actually, people don't know this, but she is a gymnast. So oftentimes she will hang from the rafters upside down to practice her gymnastics. You know, people, the body shaming is ridiculous. People body shame this chick. You just don't understand that this physique is just the natural outcome of the training that it takes to be a late night club gymnast. All right. Oftentimes you will see her hanging upside down, and we do see that on the 4 hour time frame. However, when we look at the 4 hour money flow, it's still getting thicker here. Okay. Now let's go to the 1 hour. The 1 hour. This is where things do start to look a little bit concerning, because as we are making higher highs, we are seeing the momentum waves making lower highs, and we are seeing that money flow coming out. All right. So what does this mean? When you are in a very powerful trend, now here's something else. I have to make this very clear. I'm doing this analysis as somebody who is long from here and here, okay? I would never in a million years open up a new long trade right now at resistance, just like yesterday. Even though we pumped up yesterday, I said I would never open a long trade here. As a trader, if you get into the habit of entering a long trade at resistance, you're also going to get into the habit of losing money, because what happens is sometimes it works. Like yesterday, if you had longed the resistance, guess what? It would have worked. And you would have made a lot of money. And then maybe you think, I'll try it again today. And you long the resistance, and guess what? It works. But at some point, you are going to get wrecked. And then, just like an addiction to a drug, you are stealing from your mom's purse just so you can long the top again with high leverage and lose everything you have, until you're literally sitting on your bathroom floor with a sock stretched around your head, a giant beard that you haven't shaved in 3 months, looking like a 12-year-old Amish kid, glassy eyes, thinking, why? Why did I long the top? All right, so I just want to make it clear that I'm long from the setup that I gave in the Casper crew at 100K. I'm long from the setup I gave in the Casper crew on June 30th. Okay, so I'm doing this analysis saying, you know, I can still see the bullish case here. So I just want to make this very, very clear for everybody that when we're doing this analysis, I am not advocating anybody enter into a position, but instead we're building a case for bullishness and bearishness, and then we're going to identify key areas on a chart where we would want to look for a trade. Now, going back to the chart, it's very important that we understand the money flow on the 1 hour. In a very bullish trend, oftentimes this purple money flow acts as our support, okay? It acts as our support. And so when this money flow is now turning purple, we can look at this as, okay, the price is holding here, and when it comes back above the zero line, we oftentimes get another pump. So the bullish way to look at this is we are about to see the money flow on the 1 hour cross again, and we are going to see another pump after a retracement. When we come down to the 24-minute time frame, this is where things do start to look concerning. Why do I say things start to look concerning? Well, because this actually, if we were waiting for when exactly to take a short, this is the signal that you would want to wait for. All right? This is the signal you would want to wait for. If you are a market cipher trader, when you are in free fall pump mode, you don't take a short until the 24-minute time frame has momentum and money flow coming lower at the same time. All right? So this is, you know, essentially what I was saying yesterday in the Discord, where this honestly is something that I really think everyone should pay attention to on Market Cipher B. As long as that money flow gets thicker, more upside is expected on the 24-minute time frame. Right? The 24-minute money flow is my filter for when to expect a dump, which is why yesterday I was looking for 110, 250 to 110, 900. All right? Yesterday it was saying still more upside. Well, guess what has happened overnight? That 24-minute money flow has given us now the signal to actually take a short trade. And would you notice this? I do just want to point this out. Regardless of how much we dump here, this signal on the 24-minute has actually given us the most drastic dump the whole way up, right? You could have said, oh, maybe a short here, oh, maybe a short here, but it's not until that 24-minute gives you that money flow and momentum signal that we actually get a drastic candle like that, right? It's not, we finally get over a 1% move very quick. I mean, this is one candle right here. So you got to be using that as your filter. And a lot of times, this is a signal that a major retrace is beginning, okay? So, are there bullishness signs on the 4 hour to the weekly? Yes. But as we zoom into the lower time frames, there's some bearish signs. And so we do need to be cautious and even expectant of a bit of a dump before we look for another pump. Now, there's a few things here that we should look for if we're looking for another pump. What do we need to do? Well, we need to identify key areas of support on the chart, and then we need to plan for what we would look for on that chart if we want to take a long as we come down to the key support. Now, if you want to learn all this stuff in great detail, I highly recommend you check out the free trading course on my YouTube channel. You can tell it's legit because of the way the instructor looks. Okay? You can tell it's legit because the way the instructor looks. 18-part series, a free course on how to trade. This will literally walk you through everything you need to know, especially check out this right here, how and when to enter a trade, nail perfect entries, all right? Part 14, check this out. This will actually walk you through exactly how I take a trade. This will walk you through exactly why I decided to take a trade from 100K and let everyone know, and why I decided to take the trade from 105K, right? Because the course will show you, I walk through in my VIP Discord exactly when to pull the trigger and what you're looking for. But if you want to learn this stuff, check out the free course. All right, and if you want to join the community where we give these setups, myself and other 3 instructors, check out jasoncaspertrading.com, the best trading community in the world. Also, make sure if you want to trade Bitcoin and altcoins that you check out WEEX. All right, very low fees. If you hold their token, they'll give you like 70% discount. Check out BLOFIN. BLOFIN, baby. 20% cash back. VIP 4-level fees if you use my link. And check out ANTARCTIC exchange. Decentralized exchange with the lowest fees, period. Period. So what areas of support would we look for in the event of more dumpage? I do have to say, make sure to like the stream because we are. We have 1,000 people, we have 1 like, all right? You'll get perfect abs and nail entries like a pro, says Lasers Go Pew Pew. Yeah, you'll have a perfect 6-pack abs, okay? Nitro cannot access the 24-minute because you don't have Premium Trading View. Well, honestly, the 24-minute, that is really where it's at, I'm sorry to say. So here's what we got to do. We are going to analyze this, all right? This is our current local range. And right now, we can see that we have quite an interesting confluence right here, all right? Right now, the local support, if we want to see more upside, is going to have to be the back test of the local value area high of our range. This is going to be coming in between 107.8 and 108.4. This is going to be the back test of our trend line. You could see we are going to be coming to see, do we really want to break out of the trend line? Yes or no? And not only that, but this is the Fibonacci Golden Pocket local from our last swing low from yesterday to our current high from this morning. And it's the 786. All right. Now remember, 6 Juanita, she rejected us because we were in the friend zone. So did 786ia. But because we're in the friend zone, they will be there for support. Because that's the thing about being in the friend zone, right? You're friends. And she benefits. Because if she needs something, who does she call? Jason Casper. You know, Jay, I need some money. Jay, I need a ride here. Jay, I'm at a party. This guy's creeping me out. Can you come get me? You're like, maybe if I go get her, she'll finally realize what a nice guy I am. Wrong. Wrong. She'd be like, thanks, Jay. I knew I could count on you. And you'd be like, But when she does that, it gives you a little bit of support, thinking maybe there's a chance. So as we're coming down to this box, notice something else. How does the 1 hour, how's the 24-minute time frame look right now? Well, we have a deep momentum wave, which means if we print a momentum wave higher than negative 58, what would we see? We would see our good friend at the club again. Good old Miss Uneven Butt Cheeks. And her friend Dolores at the diner coming out spilling your dang coffee because it's really hard to walk straight with uneven gluteus maximi. You know, let me take another sip of this juicy market Cipher coffee, okay? Again, with the product placement. You know, it's like Coke in the 80s, man. Can't watch dang Jason Casper. You know, I'm just so thirsty right now. Let me take a drink of this unspecified beverage. Nothing like a sip of coffee to make me a profitable trader, if you know what I mean. So that is what we need to look for. We need to look for basically a stop hunt of everybody who longed this last night into our support, and then we could come back into the range, and then we could eventually break out of this, right? That's what we would kind of wait and see. If we don't see that, if we don't see our 2 friends, you know, at that level, guess what? Then we don't take the trade. We wait for lower. Now, I don't want to be scary or beary, but there is a chance that we top out here. Like, again, there's always a chance. This is why we really need to be objective. There really is a chance that this is simply a fake out of the trend line and we make our way back down to the bottom of the range. Why do I say this? Well, because all high time frame bear signs start on the low time frames. This is why you never want to long into resistance when the lower time frames have bearish signs, right? And so if we're not going to hold the back test, well, then what? Well, then we're back inside of our range like this. All right, we're going to trade our local range. We're going to be trading like our super low time frame range, which is this. All right, going back to the 23rd of June to our present day. This is our current sideways range. We could look for a move back down to maybe 106-ish, you know. But then if we're going to be losing the value area high of our local range, then we start to trade the more high time frame range, right? Then we could expect to move down to maybe 102. And that's also where we look for our two good friends, right? And if we see them, great, we take a long trade. And if not, then we got to wait until lower. And then we're looking at 97K. And then we're looking at the high 80s. And it's just level to level. You just wait for price to do something, and then you look at the chart. Like, honestly, that is the secret sauce to trading. Is waiting for the price to do something, and then looking at the chart to determine if there's an action for you to take. Right? This is how I plan for trades. Wait for the price to maybe do this, and if it maybe does that, then I look and see, okay, does the chart give me these kind of confirmations? If yes, you take a trade. All right? If no, don't take a trade. Same with this. All right, we're looking for the price to come to this area. If yes, take a trade. If not, don't. So it's not like we're predicting. We're preparing for all the scenarios. And then when the scenario presents itself, guess what? You take advantage of that opportunity because you've already prepared for it. And what's great about that too is not only have you prepared for the entry, but you've prepared for your target. You've prepared for your position size, so you know how much you're risking on the trade. It's really a very relaxed way of doing things because it doesn't matter what the price is doing. Like, for example, right now, I don't care what the price is doing because I know no matter what it does, I've got multiple trade scenarios ready to go. All I have to do is take a look and see, how's it looking? I walk into the diner. Hey, is Dolores in today? If she's in, then you know what I'm doing. No, she's not in today. She went on vacation to the Bahamas. All right, no trade. No, I'll wait till Dolores comes back from the good old Bahamas. All right, so we are currently getting a little bit of a back test here with our slightly bearish signs on these low time frames. Okay. Now I do just want to say this. Also, remember that for the past 3 years, all right, the summertime has always given us a fake bullish scenario, which ends up coming back down to take the low of the range. Let's look at last summer. Okay. In June, we got a really bullish candle. In July, we made a higher high. And then the rest of the summer was a massive dump where we took the bottom of the range before pumping beginning in August. In 2024, the month of May was very bullish. All right, here's our May right here. It looked like we were going to make another high. Instead, we had a summer of bearishness culminating with us taking the lows of the range. All right, now here we are again in 2025. Looks really bullish. We took the high, but if the pattern continues, and I'm not saying it's going to, but I'm saying we do need to be prepared for all scenarios. Don't be surprised if we just see Bitcoin come down to the bottom of the range and then pump in the fall, right? So this is very key. This weekly candle right here, as I said at the beginning of the stream, and, you know, obviously I was just giving bearish scenarios, but let's flip back to bullish again. This weekly candle closing above our blue line, our value area high, and the green dot confirming is a very strong sign, okay? A very strong sign. So watch this weekly close. This weekly close is going to be super dang important. All right? Let's take a look at ETH. All right, ETH right now, I know people are getting excited about altcoins. ETH is attempting to break 2,700. 2,700 for ETH is super key. All right, what are some bullish things right now about this weekly chart on ETH? Well, we have gotten a move down to the bottom of the range. We've gotten a strong weekly close back inside the range, and now potentially in 3 days, two very bullish things. A weekly close above the POC, above 2,500, very, very key. And a potential green dot confirming on the weekly as the money flow gets higher. What else do we have, guys? Man, oh man. Look at this. A confirmed monthly green dot on Ethereum. Now, I'm going to give a bullish scenario here, because if Bitcoin can close that weekly candle above 110, I believe we are going to get vacuum sucked up to $115,000 to $117,000. If Bitcoin does break out of the range in the summer and forms another range above, we have never in the history of Ethereum seen something as bullish as this. Never. We have never seen something as bullish as this. While the Bitcoin price is at a cycle all-time high, above the previous market cycle all-time high, the Ethereum price has dipped down into bear market territory and is giving us a bottom signal on the monthly, the likes of which we have only ever seen during a bear market. And it's confirmed. All right. This to me is either the most obvious, juicy opportunity that we have for altcoins, specifically right now Ethereum, but when Ethereum pumps, they're all going to pump. Or it's a huge anomaly that is going to end in a massive dump, okay? Now, I am personally leaning on the side that this is a major opportunity for ETH and these other altcoins that everybody thinks is dead. I mean, the sentiment right now, especially in the YouTube chat, is that ETH is dead, ETH is dead, ETH is dead, you know? This is crazy. This is insane. This is actually an insane signal. If we're going to take this for what it is, understanding the power of the high time frame market cipher dots below the zero line, I really think this could shoot us up to like $8,000 ETH, man. We're also forming this symmetrical triangle. We've got 3 taps at the top, kind of 3 taps at the bottom, depending on how you want to look at it. You could even look at it this a different way. Okay? Whatever the case, however you want to look at it, when we break this trend line, which is like the $4,000 level, we are going to rocket ship and break out of this, okay? We're going to rocket ship and we're going to break out of this. Also, let's just kind of take a quick look here. I'm just curious, actually, to see what our target would be here. Yeah, our target is going to take us right up to... Hang on, let's draw this correctly. Yeah, this is gonna put us around 8,500, and the real reason I'm looking for 8,500 is because of Fibonacci extension targets, right? It's not just a line on a chart; it's Fibonacci extension targets. So you can see here this median area. This has been our support resistance flip going all the way back to the beginning of 2021, Q2 of 2021. And so a reclaim of this, boom, man, we are going to absolutely pump like crazy. I'm really excited about this signal on ETH. Okay? I think a lot of people are sleeping on this. There has never been a time where we have seen this. Alright? It's crazy. It's crazy. And not only that, okay? But I do just want to say that even in the heat of the bear market, now let's just be honest, these monthly green dots below the zero line on ETH. Let's go to Coinbase. Let's go to Coinbase so we have some more history here. These monthly green dots on ETH, even in the height of a bear market, all right, they give us more upside. They give us more upside. Let's look at all the ones historically ever. Every green dot below the zero line ever. This one confirms. This is the worst one. But nonetheless, 40% move to the upside after it confirms. All right, 40% move to the upside after it confirms. Then we have this one. 2,000% move to the upside. All right. Okay, fine. That's in the middle of a bull market, right? What about the bear market? Okay, here we go. The bear market. It confirms. What do we end up with? In the bear market, 66% move to the upside. Then we get another one. In the bull market, what do we get? 100% move to the upside. So we have just confirmed it right here with a purple doji candle of indecision. Based on the historic data that we have, this signal is going to make us pump. All right. So this gets me pretty excited for altcoins in general. All right. All right. Did I say all right enough times? All right. All right. Now let's take a look at XR Pizzle, baby. XR Pizzle, faux shizzle. XRP. How's XRP looking? Yeah, we got some XRP fans in the house. We got some good old XRP fans in the house. So, in general, guys, XRP is kind of following my plan here. My plan on XRP is basically, we came down, we took the liquidity of the range, right? We stopped everybody out at $1.77. All right, we came up. Did we come up as high as I wanted? No, not quite, but very, very close. All right. Then we've come down to our zone in between the golden pocket and the 786, and we are starting to get our bounce. All right, this is pretty much picture perfect textbook what I was looking for on XRP, given the fact that we had this low taken back inside the range. We come to the range value area high, we get a rejection, we come to the range value area low where we look for a back test of support, and then we look for the breakout. Now, what else are we seeing on XRP? As the price is making a higher low, we are seeing the weekly momentum making a lower low. And again, in 3 days and 11 hours, we are going to confirm the green dot on the weekly. Hidden bullish divergence on the weekly. All right, hidden bull div on the weekly for XRP. Don't mess with the hidden bullish divergence on the weekly for XRP. In addition to that, remember, this is a double drive of hidden divergence because this was also a hidden divergence. Now you got a double drive of hidden divergence as we're making a higher low. All right, things are looking nice for XRP, and we could be looking for a $5.50 XRP based on some Fibonacci targets, which I don't have drawn on the chart right now. But when we zoom down to XRP, how's the daily looking? Beautiful. Look at this, the daily on XRP, as we are coming down to the support, this beautiful support, which is the golden pocket, is the value area low of the range. We are once again seeing our two good friends. All right, our friend at the club, dancing the night away with her big uneven left butt cheek, and Dolores at the diner, skinny. All right, price is coming down to support. Look at this, you can see the price coming down, the candle's getting lower and lower. And then look at this, boom, the tip money in that skinny right butt cheek, because that's where the price goes bam to the upside, just like the smoke from the cigarette. We're seeing that beautiful bottom signal here on the daily as the weekly is printing a hidden bullish divergence. The daily is printing a regular bullish divergence. Money flow curving to the upside. And let's also be real here. This that you see here, this trend line is begging to get revisited. Why? Because these are stop losses, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. And so what happens is as the price pumps, it stops out these shorts. And yeah, stops out the shorts. And then guess what? It just squeezes right on through, baby. It just squeezes right on through. Pretty crazy. I feel that coming. We got to give a major shout to our super chat. What do I think? To Peasy, just listed on MEXC. I've never heard of it. All right, I've never heard of Peasy, but thank you for the super chat. I don't even see it here on MEXC. I see it when wrapped ETH. I appreciate the super chat. I cannot give any opinion on it. All right, I cannot give any opinion on it. I'm really sorry. I don't know. I've never heard of it, and I don't have the MEXC chart here. I just have the wrapped ETH chart. Let's check out Sol. What the heck is this? What in the world is this? You know what's crazy about Sol, though, is if we hit a $500 Solana, there's more upside potential than downside potential right now. Just to throw that out there. If we are going to see a $500 Solana this cycle, which I understand a lot of people think can't happen because altcoin narrative is dead. But if ETH is going to blast, Sol is going to blast. And if we're going to hit a $500 Sol, which is... it's only 73% higher than our current high of the cycle. That's really not that much for a coin like Sol, considering we've already come up 1,500% since the bear market bottom. Another 70% is nothing, right? There's more upside potential for SOL right now than downside. Even if we see SOL come down to like $5, there's still more upward potential here. All right, you put $100 on the trade, you're risking $100 to potentially make, you know, $230, right? There's more reward than risk right now for SOL. And if we have made a higher low down here at $80, there's 4 times more upward potential, assuming a $500 SOL, than there is downward potential here. Now, when we look at the weekly time frame, what things are we seeing? Same as these other altcoins. Hidden bullish divergences here on the weekly. Another green dot printing as the price is making a higher low. I'm sorry, that's not a hidden bullish divergence. That's just a regular trigger wave. It's a regular trigger wave. This was the hidden bullish divergence right down here that confirmed. We came to the value area high of the range. We're coming down to the Fibonacci golden pocket value area low with another trigger wave printing on the weekly. Continuation pattern. Continuation pattern. It's looking pretty good. Now again, this is not financial advice, but in my opinion, if the bull market's going to continue, and I believe it will, I believe Bitcoin's going to make new highs, and I think altcoins are going to do what people thought they were not going to do. I don't think we're going to finish this cycle without Ethereum hitting a new all-time high. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Am I financially invested in Solana and Ethereum? Yes. Yes. Okay? Big time. I've got a lot of SOL. I've got a lot of ETH. I got a lot of Chainlink. AVAX. All right? I hold a lot of these coins. I want them to pump. I am emotionally invested in these things, pumping. So please, you got to understand, as I'm doing the technical analysis, I'm not going to deny that I'm emotionally attached to these assets pumping as well, because I have plans. I have plans for this market cycle to sell these coins and buy things in the real world. Like to use that money to actually move and shake in the real world. All right? In Jesus' name. Praise the Lord. Right? Those are my plans. If the Lord wills, I have plans. All right? But yeah, when we look at this chart, let's put it back on log scale. It's funny how log scale changes the way these things look, right? But what do we see here? We see, again, this trend line going all the way back to the bear market bottom, hidden bullish divergence, back inside the range, higher low, continuation pattern on the weekly. And if we clear off all this stuff right now, this is our sideways range for SOL. This is our sideways range, all right? So it's funny, the emotions fly high and low, but in general, this is our sideways range that we've been trading since February 2024, guys. All right. So that being said, we have a long consolidation here. We've just taken the highs of the consolidation, come back into the range. We've taken the lows of the consolidation back into the range. This is setting us up, in my opinion, for a breakout. All right. Continuation patterns on the weekly. All right. All right. All right. Can I say all right enough time? All right. All right. How's the sound here? How's the sound? Mic check. Mic check. Check 1, check 2. How's the mic? Mic looks good. All right. I think we're good. We got to give a major shout out to our super chat. Polkadot. How do I place a long on dot in a relaxed way? Check out Mango Trading with Sean, Dexter, and Trisha. Oh man, crap! I forget her name. I don't want to be a jerk. With Sean, and man, her name forgets me right now. But check them out, man. They are all about the relaxed way of trading. All right, with the Ichimoku too. Now, Polkadot, I hold a lot of Polkadot. And I have to say, the Polkadot chart looks really good. Now, I'm not a fundamental guy, okay? I'm a technical guy. The Polkadot chart looks really good to me right now. Why does it look so good? Because we're at, like, this is as low as we're going to ever see Polkadot, man. All right? To me, this is an insane risk to reward. You put, you know, $1 on here, you risk $1 to make $44. All right, risk $1 to make 44 bucks. There's a 44 to 1 risk reward ratio, assuming we come back to the old all-time high. If we come higher than that, which a lot of people say is impossible because of the way the token is devalued, we're talking like you risk $1 to make 100 bucks. All right, you risk 1,000 to make 100,000. Now again, this chart looks good. Why does the chart look good? Because as we are grinding down to these supports, we are seeing the momentum getting higher on our weekly time frames. Okay. Now, hear me out. Again, I am not a fundamental trader, so I don't know anything about the blockchain and what's the tokenomics, okay, of Polkadot. I really don't. I just look at the chart and think it looks bullish, which is why I was heavily invested in it back in the winter of 2023. So I actually got the majority of my Polkadot position back here when we were breaking out of this trend line, thinking, aha, I'm buying the breakout for the all-time high, okay? I'm holding this in the red. Okay? I'm just being totally honest with you. I'm holding this bag in the red on Polkadot here, hoping that at some point, this is just going to have to pump, because how long can it stay low before something happens? I mean, even Luna Classic pumped like crazy when it was worthless. But I'm just letting you know, what I hear from people who actually are into the fundamentals, they say there's no way Polkadot can reach a new all-time high because the supply has been made so much higher. There's so many more coins that it just won't be able to hit those prices. I don't know for certain because, like I said, that's not my specialty. I'm a chart guy only. So I have to be honest with you when I say, if I'm looking at the chart, it looks like an amazing opportunity, but I hear warnings from people who I trust who say, Jay, it's actually not that good of an opportunity. So let that be what it is. But thank you so much for the super chat. The super chat. And let's see if Bitcoin is starting to get a little bit of a bounce here on the 1 minute. Let's see. Let's see. A little bit of a 1 minute bounce. Let's check out the order flow. How's the order flow? Ooh. Ooh, wow. Oh, man. Guys, this is getting me more excited than the time I went to McDonald's with Carl from the moon. By the way, we do have a movie coming out very soon, me and Carl.
Hello, I would like to get a Big Mac meal.
That just get me pretty dang excited. What do we see here on the order flow? We're actually seeing something called a bullish CVD divergence. A bullish CVD divergence. In fact, from the low that we made yesterday, here on July 2nd, to our current low, we have seen a lot of shorting happen. And it looks to me like we are seeing absorption happening here. That's a bullish CVD divergence. It looks like we're trying to reclaim the VWAP 15 minutes before New York opens. We have 16 million longs opening up right now. But we actually have, believe it or not, we have about 5 million, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 20, 26, we have 30 million shorts that shorted this whole way down here. 30 million shorts that are potentially setting themselves to be squeezed, because as the price is making a higher low, right? We made a low and then we made a higher low. We actually saw 30 million shorts open up, which means there were more shorts opening up here than down here. That is a bullish CVD divergence. Let's see what we can squeeze out from that. Shout out to Josh Corbin. He says, Astar. All right. Okay, today I pay for Cardano analysis. Praise Jesus. Yeah, we'll take a look at Cardano, Felix Finn. God bless you, bro. And Josh wants to look at Astar. All right. What is Astar? I don't know, man. All right. If you want to look at some random altcoin, you got to watch Crypto Lifer. All right. He'll give you your random altcoin analysis. Astar, not too sure, man. Let's take a look. All right. Let's take a quick look. Oof. I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I don't know. But let's take a look at Cardano. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Alright, Cardano. Shout out to Arthur. Alright, let's take a look at Cardano. Alright, so here's the deal with Cardano. I'm in the camp that this is what we're looking at here on Cardano. We have a very bullish divergence at the low from October 2023. We have a change of market structure, a higher low with a continuation pattern, another higher high with a higher low to a very key support resistance flip. And yeah, holding this area, looking like a cup and handle with our little channel coming in, holding between the golden pocket and the 786. A breakout of this trend line, and I say we're going up to a $5 Cardano. I'm bullish on Cardano, bro. I hold quite a bit, and I'm looking for that $5. Been looking for that $5 Cardano since 2021. You know? Yeah, Cardano. I think Cardano is a sleeping giant, alright? I really do. I think it's a sleeping giant. Let's go to the daily time frame here. We've got some nice bullish div coming down to these lows. Of course, we had some nice bullish div here as well. So we're just continuing to trade in this channel. Alright. I do think it's a good... I think we're seeing signs of strength just in general. This entire structure here looks nice to me. It looks nice to me. This looks really bullish to me. I have to be honest. The fact that we made another higher high and now we are seeing the wedge, that looks really good to me, right? That looks really good to me. Okay. Alright, guys, I do apologize, but I do need to head out. So I know we got some super chats from Arthur and Cyrus that we didn't get to, but I have to head out right now. I didn't keep track of the time. We got a VIP stream going on right now in the Casper Crew VIP Discord for New York Open. So I'm going to head out, and I will see you guys, Lord willing, next time. Make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell. God bless, and peace.